Whoa. Hello one, hello all, it's the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Cheekface, It's Sorted. California rock band Cheekface are back with their fourth album, and Cheekface is a band I've been loving for quite a while now. I'm not sure if you caught my review of their last album, Too Much to Ask, but I did love that album, and honestly, I'm loving this one almost as much, maybe on like the same playing field. But one thing I love about Cheekface is their humor, how they're fun, while also addressing social commentary. Loving the exuberant shouts from frontman Greg Katz, how the cleans are amateurish but have like a lot of personality, a lot of passion. And I love the amount of wit that goes into the spoken word passages. And going into this, my hopes were high due to how much I love the teasers going into this album. Such as the Fringe. I wanna be on the Fringe. Do-do-do, do-do-do. About the toxicity of being famous and how it's better to just deviate from that and be on the more unconventional side. With hilarious lines like, me and Panic woke up together, not for one night, this is forever. Or how about him and Panic are like sculpting nudes out of cold mayonnaise. And critics not really caring about the art, they just came through for the wine. And there's also Largest Muscle that makes comedic insights of the inner and exterior human anatomy, correlating to various situations, ideologies, and critiquing the methodical approach. And there's also the punchy, hilarious Plastic, which made it onto my year-end list of great singles of last year, with a hilarious perspective of pandering, people-pleasing, while saying they're doing their best and trying their best to please while not exactly sticking the landing. And on this album too, Cheekface is definitely dabbling in different elements in opposed to the last album, which was great, but I also can't ignore the sonic difference that this album has at points. Especially on the humorous and satirical, there were changes in the hardcore scene, with subtle, dissonant, winding guitars that you would hear on a hardcore album, but sonically still in the Cheekface vein, that has this welcoming tone and lyrics, which is hilarious due to that this is in reference to a genre that is so abrasive and visceral. If you got plugs and gauges, you are welcome to our spaces. I've got friends in crowded places. And the hilarious, obvious contradiction within the line, and I hate to send mixed messages, I love to send mixed messages, which definitely does that through being social to antisocial, transparent then closed off, while also stating the transitions within the hardcore scene. In a way, it's kind of like, oh, I didn't change, hardcore did. You know, that sort of scenario. And it just shows the never-ending comedic genius that is Cheekface and their lyricism. And also the song Don't Stop Believing, which is the most somber toned track on this album, but also hilarious at the same time, while lyrically pointing out how we live in a capitalistic society and how fake news has no price, but the real news has a price, and how living in dismal circumstances, the belief starts deteriorating after a while. And there's also the track Trophy Hunting at the Zoo, where we get like this Idols kind of build up, like some revving guitar on here, but the only track Sin is that it's too short and it ends before it begins. And there's also the social commentary end of things, which does do that while also being versatile, but then you also get like the classic style Cheekface with the social commentary, like on Popular 2, which is a song about like a stuck-up rich dude, while simultaneously wanting to be private, but also wanting to be popular, and also being paranoid, and also intruding on other people's privacy, with very exuberant, strained vocals that sound kind of like a mix of Weird Al and have the sonic playfulness of They Might Be Giants. And there's also I'm Continuing to Do My Thing, which is a very groovy, humorous track of a person indulging in drama while continuing to be a menace, like running over road signs on the side of the road, or having egregious things done to them, like having a hit out on them by rich capitalists who will use that income to build server farms for fascist organizations such as ICE. That's a bar, and most likely true. True. And sure, there are some tracks that do meander, but I don't think that kneecaps overall enjoyment of the album. Or cut too short, but there's a lot of bangers on here. I love how witty and humorous the lyrics are, while simultaneously very catchy. The playing, it's very groovy, it's very fun, there is variety here, and I honestly can't wait for the next one. I'm feeling a 4 out of 5 on this. Yes, 4 black hearts out of 5 on this album. If you've given this a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And that's it. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, Cheekface, it's sorted. Till we meet again.